In a world where hypnosis marketers have gone crazy, one man is here to deliver a knockout, bone-crushing blow and strip away all of the marketing hype and bull. And now you're in on the best-kept secret in the field. You're listening to the Hypnosis Product Reviews Podcast, leaving only cold hard facts, point blank. No questions asked. Subscribe to the newsletter to get 12 training products absolutely free from the world's top trainers, such as Stephen Brooks, Jonathan Chase, Igor Ledochowski, Jeffrey Stevens, Daniel Jones, Richard Nongard, John Overdurf, The Head Hackers, Anthony Jacquin, and much more.
Aloha, folks. It's Antonio with HypnosisProductReviews.com. Today I'm interviewing Martin Petersen from thehypnoacademy.com. One of the better trainers I've met in my life, and very mischievous. I'll try to put the clip from our interview from the HypnoThoughts conference last year when he decided to pull a ninja move on me and drop me in trance like that. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing very good. That was fun. You know, Vegas was fun, but you made it more funny during that interview.
You knew I was going to ask you to do a rapid induction. You could sense it.
Yeah, I knew that. Because the second half of the interview, you seemed like you really wanted to ask that question. Could you do a demo on a fast-speed induction? So I was kind of just waiting for it, and to do everything the way I do it, I just wanted to do a pattern interrupt and then, trick you. And, hey, it happened. That was fun.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Even though
When people watched the clip, actually, I was kind of like, hey, I want to put something extra into that induction. And I was looking, there was nothing, because we were sitting in my hotel room. There was like small, teeny tiny couch area in the corner. And the only thing that was actually on the table was an old newspaper. So I was like, hey, we might as well just do it with a newspaper. Look at the paper, down. And, and you were out.
Hey, folks, what I'm going to do is I'm gonna edit this retroactively, but if you, let's see, edit this later, but if you look at this box like right here, I have the video of him doing that, so.
Keep it simple. KISS, keep it simple, stupid.
Dude, this is a great interview, and I think a good way to finish out the interview, since we're in Vegas.
Can I say something?
Yeah.
Just a different thing, because we kind of been, working back and forth with a lot of fun stuff, and you guys been seeing some stage stuff, eh? So I brought this paper, and we can do some fun stuff with the paper, like just look at it, just like that, all the way down, deeper, 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 deeper. Thanks for this little interview. It was great, amazing. When you wake up on the count of 3, you feel amazing, and you just did a good interview. 1, 2, 3, just like that. You knew
that was awesome. You knew I was going to ask you for an induction, but that was good.
Have that pause for a little bit later.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty damn good. And the whole conference was. The first year was awesome. Last year was unbelievable. Like, for example, were you there when Kelly Woods and all them did the flash mob?
Yeah, I saw that. It was awesome.
That whole conference was unbelievable. If you don't mind me asking, what were some of your highlights for the conference?
Oh, it's pretty hard actually, because I've been to so many conferences that has to do with hypnosis over the past 10 years or so, and there's always like this one highlight, this magic moment. But considering everything that happened in Vegas, I would say there's a handful of those magic moments every single day. And I would actually say that it's not necessarily any lecture, any speak, any show, anything that was my magic moment. It was actually walking on the hallway. It was watching colleagues.
The conversations.
Yeah, newbies, pros, old dinosaurs, or new babies just interact in the hallways. And it was like this family sensation. This family feeling all over. Nobody was pissed at each other. Nobody was better than anyone else. Everybody was having a great time, and that was really my magic moment, because it lasted throughout that whole week, actually.
You know what's funny is in the hypnosis community, just like any other community, there are people that have, I guess, certain agendas. People get in fights via, the keyboard warriors that get into fights.
Yeah. Yeah.
when there's no keyboard there, it's almost like the persona disappears. So I mean, even the first conference, for example, there was one kid that I'm not going to mention his name, but we've had our TIFFs online. We actually together helped to organize the street hypnosis.
Awesome.
It was awesome. It's all about the community. I actually remember when I met the kid for the first time I met him was at the registration table, and Richard Clark, he just sat there. Him and Scott were laughing like, "Oh, great! Do we have to get the boxing gloves?" I'm like, "No, we're sitting here. We're here to have a good time, just like anybody else."
Yeah. But it's kind of interesting because that whole deal with people arguing on the web, on different forums and whatever. My perspective on this, my theory really, is those people have time to sit down and do all that bullshit talking. They don't do any quality hypnosis, because otherwise they wouldn't have time to sit down and bad-mouthing everybody else in the business. So I've met so many people who are really, really good at bad-mouthing others on the web and met them real life. And the only thing I could get from that was it's just people being insecure about who they are, what they can do, and they're just really eager to learn, but they're not, maybe they don't have the social skills, I don't know. A good argument is a good argument. I do appreciate that, because it's an exchange of ideas and thoughts, really. But when people have nothing but just telling other people how bad this person or this person is, has nothing to do with this business. But I guess this exists in whatever kind of business you do.
Yeah, you've probably seen some of my posts. Some of my posts outside of hypnosis can be very, I don't know what the word is. They can be almost confrontational.
Yeah, exactly.
I've seen it. My posts on Facebook, maybe sometimes they're not professional. I'm out there to have a good time. But the one thing, anything related to hypnosis, even though I've done this for quite a few years, I still have a long way to go. I still have a lot to learn about different inductions. It's a continual education.
But Antonio, there's still a difference, because I like the way you do it, because you're asking questions, right? It's like this guy is, let's say, whatever guy is telling about his product, his way of doing things, his technique, and this is the most awesome thing because this and this, and you would go, how come? Why is it the best one? What about this one? This one works pretty good. How is that compared to the one you do? And people get terrified by that, because now they have to really, show the documentation that what they do is better than whatever they just said it was. And most people just have an idea of what the product might be able to do. Not that many people can say, hey, I tested this on 1,000 clients, right? And that's why guys like you ask questions, and I love that, because sometimes people do have an answer, but it gets pretty funny when they don't. And the only answer would be, well, I tested this on my colleague last summer. It's like, hey, your colleague helped you out, that's it.
Yeah.
So, I love that. I love those discussions, because it's discussions, it's not arguments. But when people just kind of betraying each other or stalking each other or just bad-mouthing, I think that's a bad thing for the whole business, really.
Yeah, I think some of the stuff with the if somebody thinks they have the best product in the world,
yeah,
it's confirmation bias. They've got their own confirmation bias or cognitive dissonance. They've seen it work for them over and over, but outside of the therapy room, or as some people call it, the Tony Robbins effect,
yeah,
outside of the training room, it's no good if it doesn't help people that are not familiar with the kind of jargon we use and all the craziness we all deal with. So we are a very unique crowd.
Yeah, because it's the same thing with trainers, because everybody calls themselves a trainer these days, right? Just because you did a workshop in a weekend doesn't make you a trainer necessarily, right? I think there's, I've been all over the world, trained with most people, or most gurus, most whoever is something in this business. And I would say 9 out of 10, it's a big number, I know that, 9 out of 10 would never be able to really justify that the technique they just did is good because of whatever documentation. Usually people go, well, it's in the book, that's why we're doing it. I would say, So why is it in the book, and why are we doing it? What are the reasons why we do it in this way and not in a different way? I love trainers, and that's only 1 out of 10 who can say, well, the reason why we do it this way is because of this and this and this. Because it's tested upon a big crowd or a big audience. I know this because of 10 years of work and yada, yada, yada. You know the drill. And not that many people are able to do that. I would never release a product unless I got great testimonials on it, unless I really worked it throughout whatever kind of session I could possibly think of, without having at least a large amount of people going through that, so I knew that when I'm going to teach this, I can answer any question that pops up. Because that's my dignity, that's my pride in what I do.
You know, it's funny. Brought up something I was thinking about. I was reading the book by Jorgen, Rasmussen. Have you read Provocative Hypnosis?
Yeah.
Great book. It's talking about how I think there's one part in it talking about how inside the training room, not everybody, with everybody, not everybody's going to respond the exact same way to every technique. Some people aren't that good of visualizers.
Exactly.
And I remember it was. I think he was talking about how some trainers will specifically try to use some people that they know are going to work with the whatever the skill is they're trying to demonstrate.
Yeah. I think that's the funny thing about Rasmussen, right? Because it's not provocative hypnosis. It's actually him provoking the whole business, that those people who are not doing it in a proper way, they might feel provoked by this book, because he's a modern guy, and he's like, okay, if it works, it works. And there's no exact way of doing it. You have to be in your flow. You have to be really intuitive also, but you also have to be aware of all the facts that has to do with how the brain works and how psychology works. So that's why he's a great guy, and he really pushed this whole business of hypnosis in a slightly different direction a few years back when that book first came out. And I think those people who think thinks he's an ass, is those who are afraid of development, who are afraid of actually going with anything but a script, right? So
exactly.
That's why I like him, because he kind of just dared to speak out loud what most people were thinking at that moment. So it's an awesome book, by the way.
You know, now I want to hear what you're going to be talking about at HypnoThoughts.
Oh, what am I not going to talk about? I thought I had
You won't be talking about me, right?
Sorry?
What was it?
I said I thought I had a busy schedule last year, but I think this year it's going to be a little bit more busy. I'm a lucky guy because I got a pre-conference and a post-conference thing. Last year I did a pre-conference thing with Scott Sandland. This year I'm going to do a 2-day induction mastery workshop. I have a lot of ideas of inductions, and what people say is that my workshop last year of the induction formula was one of the most popular things at the conference. So I thought about why not do a in-depth 2-day thing so people can learn how to do complete inductions on the street with anybody, and it includes safety, pre-talk, deepeners, the induction, and everything that goes beyond that. What if you can do that in less than 30 seconds? That's the whole idea of this one. I just did it in Hamburg a couple of months ago, and when people thought they were fast, they did 5-minute things. Then a half that time, and they had 2.5 minutes, then 2 minutes, then 1 minute. And then it felt like, hey, 1 minute is too long time. It's too much time because you can do it way faster. And those people 1 hour before that said it's impossible to do anything less than 5 minutes. So what I did is actually just decoding everything that has to do with how the brain works, how the mind works, going to that moment of the induction happens in this instant, right? So it's kind of like it's science combined with having fun, with going with everything that people think they know and everything they don't know yet. And I put that into a little teeny tiny box, and we call that induction mastery. And you can use that on the street, on the stage, and in your clinic, and you will have amazing results that has to do with induction. So it's all about the science behind inductions. That's going to be 2-day, very fun workshop I'm hoping for. So that's the one thing. Last year I was supposed to do a 4-day Soul Key training, and this year it will be actually a post-conference. And we're going to narrow it down to 3 days because I'm expecting people to be professionals when they get there and they're at the conference. So Soul Key therapy is kind of like, if you combine everything Dick Southwin knows about soul communication, about past life regression, with everything Michael Newton knows about life between life, all that work, and if you combine that with all the spiritual hypnosis there is, you have one simple product. I call that the Soul Key therapy. It's an easier way to access all those memories, either if you believe it's memories or not. I don't judge. You can believe it, you can trust it. It can be part of your religion and can be part of your what religion you don't have. But anyway, what the experiences people get from those sessions is life changing. If you believe
that's all that matters.
Exactly, it's life changing, and that goes if you're a believer or not, really. But if you understand the messages, if the messages come from beyond or from yourself, it doesn't really matter. But suddenly, if you feel connected with who you are right now, you know what your life purpose is. If you suddenly accept everything that you thought was wrong or bad, that it's suddenly a resource and it's suddenly what empowers you to be you, that's life changing. So Soul Key therapy is all about that, putting everything together so you can access those ideas, that information way faster than any other technique could actually possibly do. And I know that for a fact because I had people from all different kind of schools think it's impossible, but it's really not. It's keeping things basic and simple. Don't do it too advanced because there's actually nothing called advanced hypnosis. The more advanced it actually gets simpler and simpler. You know what I mean? Because all that bullshit, you have to do this, you have to do that, this is a schedule, this is a 10-step how to do it. Bullshit. Close your eyes, think of something good, that's hypnosis. Really? And so the more advanced it gets, the more simpler it gets, really.
Yeah, the whole the whole thing about it being advanced, it's marketing. That's all it is.
It is. I use that term, and I'm kind of in my notes when people read about my advanced stuff, it's kind of like, now let's make things even more simpler. And people will go like, how can it be simple if it's advanced? That's the whole idea. Because when you learn hypnosis, you think, okay, I need to know everything that's in this book, right? It's not just a 10-step how to do hypnosis, it's a 100-step how to do hypnosis. If I leave out step 87, I might do everything wrong. It's a failure. But it's really not, because those 100 steps can be one step. So again, I believe the more advanced it gets, the less steps there are, because you trust yourself, you trust your ability how to handle clients, you know what hypnosis really is, and it makes it more advanced, but simpler.
Your unconscious is guiding you.
Exactly. Because back to the old fact: who goes first? If you need to get a client into trance, who goes first? You're the client.
It was actually funny. I was at work the other day, selling timeshare or sending the timeshare tours in to work to the resort I work for. And this lady, she's a psychotherapist, and she was talking to me about the main thing is rapport. She just happened to be a tourist on vacation. She said her main thing, or any therapist, is you need rapport. That's why she gets good results, is people actually feel like she understands them, so people can trust her.
Exactly. It's all about the rapport and the compliance, right? And it can be verbal, it can be non-verbal. And if you don't have it within 5-10 seconds, you don't have it at all. And you need to move on to the next one. So it's crucial that on that first meeting you have with anyone, that you get the compliance and the rapport you're looking for. Otherwise, it will not happen. So I think, yeah.
And I'll say, if you don't mind me asking, what are some of the ways that you get compliance in a private setting for you, for an example?
Well, good question. I think I covered a lot of that on my pattern interrupt and body language seminar last year in Vegas, because it's actually very much nonverbal. Everything has to do with gestures, with pointing my hand, getting them to do something, and then suddenly start speaking and see if I got their attention. So it's very nonverbal the way I do it, and it's something I cannot help doing it. I do it with everyone. If I meet somebody at the groceries, if I'm standing in a lift anywhere, I'm doing it with anyone, because it's fun, it's practicing, it's you know, and perfect practice makes a master, right? So I cannot really say it's you have to do this, you have to say that, you have to ask that question, because it's all in your body language. And if that's not working, I know I have quite some work lying ahead of me, because now it has to be very much verbal. Because now I have to get inside of the mind through the conscious mind, and I hate talking with conscious minds. I love talking with unconscious minds.
So this makes sense. So you want to try to get the nonverbal cue first?
Yeah, because if I do that, if I get success doing that, I'm already established unconscious communication, right? The thing that most people do wrong when they start doing hypnosis is they think the pre-talk have to be like, let's really talk about your problems, right? And they have the client talk about the problems. The more they talk about them, the more will manifest within the physiological body, right? And the more they talk about with the conscious mind, the more unreal realities they create, because it's imagination. The conscious mind do not know what the problem really is, and I know that for a fact from having 7,000 clients, that whenever they say they know it, they don't know it, okay? But when the unconscious become online, they really know it, and it has nothing to do with what the conscious mind knows. So my theory is, the sooner I can get the conscious mind to get the hell out of here, out of this conversation, the more likely we are to get success in a faster, in a more secure and proper way. Because the conscious mind makes trouble, makes the body feel uneasy, nervous, pain, so many ideas that it's not true. Whatever it can make up, it's not true. So why would I bother spending my time talking about things that are not really happening? You know what I mean? So
exactly.
That's my whole perspective of having unconscious conversations. I love that.
Now, I know you're doing your pre and post conference. Are you doing any conference or any classes during the actual conference?
Yeah. Oh gosh, I can't really remember them all. I will do another induction formula thing, some more body language. I think I have a DNA recovery workshop also, and Larry Ellman and Charlotte Ellman invited me to be part of the Ellman panel also, so I'm proud about that. So I will be doing a lot of stuff.
Sean Ellman, or you mean Sean Andrews?
No. Larry Ellman and Cheryl.
Oh, you said Sean. You said, it's funny you said Sean Ellman, so I thought.
Bad pronunciation. That's why.
Yeah.
Yeah, Cheryl.
I think it's just the connection.
Yeah, it might be. Let's say it's the connection.
Yeah, we'll go with that. That's a great honor.
I'm looking forward to that. I know Sean Michael Andrews will be part of that. I'm pretty sure the Brits, Carl Smith or Chris Gillies, or both will be part of that also. So that would be a fun panel, really. We do have so much fun when we're together. So, and Cheryl and Larry are just fun people, loving fun
awesome.
people. Yeah, exactly. So I'm really much looking forward to that.
I know I'm gonna have to watch out for what's his name, Carl. Last year he got a little too. Yeah, he got frisky.
He's having more fun than everybody else combined at that conference.
Even if he didn't know any of us, he without all the hypnosis, he's still having fun.
Exactly, and that's so cool. He is really having fun. And actually, talking about the Ellmans, right? They will actually be doing the first train the trainer of the Ellman techniques and all that information. They will do that in March in this office, actually, my office. They're in Denmark, so they asked, could we do our first train the trainer add your location. I said, hell yeah. So they will be doing that. So I'm hoping to be even more skilled when I get to Vegas, because now I got that also on my resume and to put on that wall in the background.
Wow. You got no room for a picture of dogs or anything. You got all your certifications up there.
Yeah, there might be a picture of you there somewhere.
Well, I'm sure it is. I've got such a pretty boy face.
Yeah. All the pictures where I dropped you.
Yeah, no kidding. I remember when we were in Vegas, you hypnotized me, and then right after John Sorbonne, Transmaster, hypnotized me. Yeah, that felt like a hypnotic gangbang.
He hijacked you.
Yes, he did. Hey, John, if you're watching, that was a really good move.
John, if you're watching, you're a really crazy son OB.
Yeah, that.
Yeah, you got hijacked, and he dropped you even further down. You were completely nauseous and confused afterwards. It was so fun to watch that.
It was so many, like, one after another. I was like, okay. I was like, I need to go take a breather.
Exactly.
You know what I do remember last year, it was, I don't know if I saw this talk. I think it was the one on Sunday that I unfortunately missed because I went to the Nine Inch Nails concert the night before and had one too many beers. I think that was the talk when your DVD was sold out within, 5 minutes? Like, listen, folks, if you want to hear how good this guy is, people rushed his back of the room table. Actually, I'm sorry, not back of the room table, but the table in the products room. DVD was gone in 5 minutes?
Yeah, it was mayhem. It was actually the induction formal. It was like a 4 or 3 hour workshop, right? And we're not allowed to do back of the room sales, and I do appreciate that because we have so little time. So if people spend 30, 40, 50% of the time promoting their stuff, there will be no lectures or no workshops really. So what I did was actually I just brought one DVD with me, and I had one lady in the workshop, and I did an instant induction with her, with just showing her my DVD, and she got dropped instantly. And then that was the only time I showed my DVD. I didn't talk about anything. In the end, I said, well, a lot of the stuff we've been talking about on this one, I got everything gathered into a DVD. I brought a suitcase of DVDs with me. And there's only this amount on my table in the vendor's room, and it will be, the price is this, but you have only like 10 minutes after we're done with this workshop. That's the only thing I was allowed to say. And I just kept, and people started asking questions. I said, the answer is on that DVD. And I just left the room. And everybody, maybe a few didn't, but everybody else ran to the vendor's room and was almost fighting about grabbing a DVD and just throwing money on the table. And I had Ken Gusso helping me out. It was like, what is happening? Everybody just took one, threw the money, and like, yeah, I got the DVD. And it was amazing. And
you know what's fun?
It's not the only thing, actually. Sorry. The better thing was all the reviews I got afterwards. People writing emails saying, well, I thought it was a gimmick. I thought you just played us. But I've been watching that DVD. It's awesome, and how much stuff could you put on a 2-hour DVD, right? But everything was on there, apparently, so people were happy, so it was awesome.
Oh, it was an amazing DVD. You actually, I think you gave me a copy because with me having Hypnosis product reviews, it kind of worked out. I intentionally set it up to be a review site, so I could be like, I get free products, I review your stuff. But yeah, hey folks, I don't have any kind of affiliate link. I don't make money if you buy any of his products from my site. Get his stuff, or better yet, go to HypnoThoughts. Go to hypnothoughtslive.com. I have a link either above or below this video, and it's going to be. We just talked about it. It's going to be August 21st to 23rd, right?
Yeah. 21st until the 23rd, and there will be pre and post conferences also.
You have you have no idea how much fun it is. And I'm not going to say if I hypnotized a stripper or not. I'm not going to say anything about that. But I'm pretty sure that, what's that kid's name? The Brit.
Carl?
No, not Carl. The other one. The handsome one. Rory.
Oh, Rory, yeah. The young guy.
Yeah, sorry, Rory. We didn't forget about you. He might end up he might end up saying something about it.
Yeah, he's gonna spam us now.
He's got a what?
He's gonna spam us right now.
Yeah, no kidding. No kidding. He's probably sitting in the background going, I wonder what I'm going to do. But yeah, folks, this is something you do not want to miss. I mean, last year, they had, 3 hypnosis shows? And then you saw that magic show with McBride, right?
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
He's a fast guy. What can I say, man? He's fast. He's good. Yeah, definitely.
My favorite trick he did was the one when he had the the cup on the table. Remember, he was talking about how everything's an illusion.
Yeah. With the sand, the water.
With the water, where he took the cup and then he spun it and it just spun out. It kind of fell like a rainbow, or like a rainbow, like a ribbon.
Exactly.
So, do you have anything else you want to tell all of my millions of listeners?
Yeah. Well, be in Vegas. It's absolutely fun. You will gain so much knowledge, and if you don't, it's because you're lying in your bed being drunk the whole time. And hey, and if anybody's there in Vegas, make sure you will be there Sunday evening also. I will actually be doing a show in the evening on the main stage also, so that I'm really much looking forward to that. That's going to be a Sunday evening special. So
like Sunday evening special, you don't mean a donkey show, right?
Not like that, no. No, that's usually what you attend, but it's not going to be that when I do it.
Oh, boy. Hey, so far this podcast is pretty clean. Did you ever hear the podcast I did with Anthony Cools?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you saw that, right?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, the end of that that's why I had a 10-second window, but leave this now.
Does he have any words that is not filthy?
Yeah, no, I don't think so.
No.
He's probably not that dirty. Yeah, that's his persona.
I know it is, yeah.
Oh, he's still hilarious.
Yeah, he's a fun guy.
So let's see. hypnothoughts.live.com. Let me put my face on here. Either above or below, go to the link, go to hypnothoughtslive.com. Register as soon as you can. I'm not sure how much it is this year. I know last year was, I think, maybe $300, which is unbelievable.
But the good thing is, if you actually hook up on one of the pre- or post workshops, you might get full attendance on top of that. So you get free entrance with everything included. There's the meals every day, so it's pretty awesome.
Okay, so there are some people that are sponsoring them. Are you one of the people? Are you one of the people?
Actually, not at the moment, but I will be. So if you kind of look out for that, there will be some discounts and some offers. Yeah.
Dude, that's almost insane that people are doing that, because I mean, $300. I mean, it's not a lot of money unless you're hurting for money. The amount of stuff you're gonna get.
Exactly.
Hell, I spent $300 in a bar in like a week.
That's true. You actually did that.
But it's easy to do that out here in Hawaii. It's super expensive. God, milk's $8 a gallon.
Oh, okay. Yeah. But everything about that is really fun. So I'm thinking if people want to know anything about my early birds and stuff like that, go to my website, thehypnoacademy.com. There will be information there. Otherwise, take a look at the Hypnothoughts Live. I think they're updating that every single day, several times actually, to make sure that people will get all the information they need. And there will be so many people this year. I'm pretty sure about that.
And folks, if anybody listening, if you can't make it, pay for me. I'll go. No, just kidding. I'm going to be there. I've been there the past 2 years. I've been to, I would say, maybe 3 different trainings. This isn't so much a training, but I think this is the only conference I've ever been to. I've heard this is one of the best conferences out there.
Yeah, I would say so. I would definitely say so.
So you have some conferences, it seems like it might be run by certain boards that almost have an agenda where to keep their membership going, to keep the membership. There is no membership with this.
It seems like that, mostly. I've been to the NGH, IACT, IHF, different others in Europe, and all have their special qualities, right? But I've never experienced any conference with this being open-minded, being open to whatever kind of politics you trust in, whatever kind of organization you represent, whatever kind of schooling you have as a background, everybody's welcome. If you know just a little about hypnosis, you're welcome. And I really like that whole concept about this conference.
And where else can you hear Scott making a joke about a mechanical pig?
That is true.
He's never going to live that one down.
No. The weirdest idea ever, but it was delivered in the most perfect, humorous way.
Yeah, that's why I'm not going to say anything about it because I might have some young kids watching this podcast. But yeah, hopefully there's video footage of that. It was hilarious.
The idea out there. Now the idea is somewhere in cyberspace.
Oh, that's so bad. So everybody, go check out his website, thehypnoacademy.com. Above or below, you'll get a link. I'm sorry, and also check out hypnothoughtslive.com. Register. Let's see, and you got a little bit of time, but time creeps up on you fast. You know, you put things off. It happened to me last year, where finally I'm like, oh my God, it was like 2 weeks before. Thank God I had a bonus check that I was able to pay for everything. But if you have the money, now to register, do it. They're always doing early birds and whatnot.
And also, just a tip on the hotel. Actually, it's a very good idea to book a room already, because it was close to sold out last year. It was really difficult to get a room last year. So be sure you have a room, so there's rooms enough for everyone.
Yeah, we almost didn't get a room last year.
Oh yeah. And that's not fun.
Yeah, and the debauchery happened as soon as I get there. I post on the Facebook group, "Who's here?" And you're like, "I am." I'm like, "Oh boy, what's going to happen tonight?"
And you cannot remember what happened, can you?
Not quite. But were you there when I hypnotized the one kid? It was I'm not going to mention the kid's name. I hypnotized the kid to feel like he was going to be super drunk. So we all got up from our table. We went over like 2 tables over. You heard about this, right? The security guard came up, thought the kid was drunk. The kid like opened his eyes. I'm like, okay, maybe I'm not doing that. You know what I plan on this year is remind me. I plan on hypnotizing some people that whatever amount they win in the slot machine, they're gonna think they won like 10 grand, start jumping up and down.
Yeah, that would be fun.
Oh, you know,
Vegas, the only place to do it.
Any other words of wisdom for everybody?
Be yourself. Learn. Practice perfect.
Be yourself, learn, and get to this conference. It's going to be one of the best experiences.
Definitely.
Hey, everybody. It was, let me see if it'll switch over to my face. Everybody, thank you for tuning in. And Martin, thank you for getting on this podcast.
Thank you for being here, and thank you for allowing me to be part of this.